It's time for the Drugless Doctor. Call a friend or family member now and let them benefit from today's exciting and life-changing program. If you want to lead a healthier life, the time is now.
Hello, this is Dr. Bob, Anthony, and Kason DeMaria. Welcome once again to our Half Hour of Health program. Did you exercise today? Do you know that it has been estimated that you should exercise 150 minutes per week? And you're probably thinking, oh my gosh, I could never do that. Well, I want you to know exercise is the secret weapon for long-term health and wellness. This is a trap. This happens to be a rat trap. And what I have learned from my experience being involved in natural drugless healthcare since 1978 is that you could be trapped in the medical mindset that sickness and disease is naturally attracted to you and there's no way out. Well, here's the good news. If you take the initiative, and we're empowering you with information, and what I want you to do right now is go to Drugless Doctors, DRS.com, go to the link blog, and print out the notes. If you're watching this and it's not live and you're on the internet right now, you can go to druglessdoctors.com and look up all of the outlines and all of the programs. This is very serious because exercise is an integral part of your long-term health and wellness strategy.
So we really created this program to learn different ways how to make exercise fun, because from personal experience, and a lot of times when we're exercising, we see others exercising, they're having a miserable time. So we're gonna display some myths when it comes to exercise and give you a couple of benefits for yourself and different ways throughout your day that you can make exercise fun, and it's going to be one of the key components of health and well-being, because all three of us are trained as chiropractors, and Dr. Bob's a natural health doctor, and we know how important it is to have correct communication between the brain and the rest of your body via the nervous system. That's a physical component of what we do. Chemically, we work with people as far as what they put into their body, and then there's also emotions that are either stress and other emotional baggage that people can have. But through chiropractic care, the right type of food, and the right type of exercise, we're able to make massive amounts of impact in people's lives. So these are just some of the strategies that we found that can help make exercise fun for individuals. So many of you sitting at home right now didn't even know that you could be exercising right now while you're watching us. Because a lot of times people will say, well, you know, I really couldn't do that. But we're going to go over some strategies to show you that you really could. So how many people of you that are watching us right now would want to have increased energy, increased mood, increased activity, increased libido, increased function in your body? Everybody is sitting on the edge of their seat saying, what should I do? And we've already said it. Yes, those are just some of the benefits when it comes to exercise. So it's just amazing to me that not more people are doing it on a regular basis. So we'd really encourage you, by watching this program, is to pick up some of these simple, easy things that we're going to talk about when it comes to exercise. So first of all, we want to displace some of the myths that you guys have on exercise.
There are so many different myths to why people don't exercise. I think the most common one that we hear is they don't have enough time. Even low amount intervals, so low, like 15 minutes to 20 minutes a day, even 10 minutes a day, all of these exercises that you can do at home can help to improve your health right away. This is even when you're watching TV right now, when you're sitting on the couch, we're gonna show you an exercise that you can actually start doing while you're watching us. Other things that people say is, I'm not sporty, I'm not athletic, I'm overweight, I don't want, I have too much pain in my body. Yes, you may have these things going on inside your body, but you can find exercises that you can still do that are fun and also that don't cause pain. You don't want to cause any pain in any of the exercises that you're doing. Of course, if you're starting to exercise today and you haven't done this for a year, 2 years, 3 years, it's very common to have some soreness in your muscles because of not using them. That's very common. Also, if you're not sporty, if you don't feel comfortable going to the gym, you can do other exercises at home that can really make a huge difference in getting things moving and start the ball rolling with detoxification and strengthening your immune system and even boosting your energy.
You know, it's really interesting. A lot of times people come up with too many excuses for themselves not to exercise. Just a few of the things that Dr. Kaysen was mentioning, those are some of the myths when it takes place to exercise. So I know as you're watching me right now, I know it's running through your head. I know that they're not talking to me because I got too much going on, so I really can't exercise. But we know how important it is for you to displace some of these myths when it comes to exercise. When it comes to the pain portion of what Dr. Kaysen was saying, I hear commonly from people is, well, my ankles hurt, so I don't do something, or my knees hurt, so I don't do something, or my shoulder hurts, so I can't do something. Well, does some part of your body work? You better believe it, because you're watching this and you're moving somehow. We want to make sure that we're moving those parts. So if you have ankle or knee discomfort, you could do something like this while you're watching TV. You could get an exercise band to do some sort of upper body workout. You know, if you have upper body issues, you could get onto a stationary bike and do some stationary biking. So when it comes to exercise, it's coming up with simple, easy solutions for ourselves that are fun so that we can actually do it and not have some of these little games that we're playing with ourselves when it comes to exercise. So if I were to ask each and every one of you that are watching this program, should you exercise and how much you should do, you would say, well, you know, I really should exercise. And then I would say, well, how come you're not doing it then? A lot of it has to do with those excuses and myths that we tell ourselves so that we're not exercising. Remember all those benefits that we just mentioned, and you said that you wanted to experience them? It just takes a little bit of time to work up to what you're doing. I also want to reiterate one of the things that Dr. Kaysen mentioned. If it's something that you haven't done for a period of time, I always want you to start either slow to moderate pace. Back sometime in the last several months, I was contacted by some of my friends, and they said, you know, well, why don't we go play a pickup game of football? I said, you know, I think that sounds like a great idea. And having not played football in several years, I had a great time, but the next day I was walking around like an old man for about the next week and a half. So I would encourage you to make sure that you start small when it comes to a myth, because a myth, a lot of you also have heard before is, you know, I can go and I can do one good workout every once in a while and it's going to be good. Most of the time what ends up happening is you get the really cute outfit, you go to the gym, you work out for 2.5 hours, and then you're feeling your body talk to you in weird ways that you never felt for the next month. So we don't want you to do that. We want you to come up with fun, simple, easy strategies and implement them that we're going to be talking about here throughout the rest of the program.
Well, I can tell you, motion is life. And Dr. Anthony and Kaysen have been talking about sore muscles after exercise. We have found that oftentimes if you have a B vitamin need, lactic acid could build up from the metabolism. So if you have sore muscles, you may consider a B complex. Make sure you're drinking water. And we talk about this so often, is making sure you have enough minerals. We use Celtic sea salt. You might get 1/4 of a teaspoon and put it in 20 ounces of water. That is just a part of the long-term plan when it comes to exercise. We're going to take a short break, and we're going to be right back. Hello, this is Dr. Bob, Anthony, and Kaysen DeMaria. Welcome once again to our Half Off Health program. And we have been discussing exercise, and before the break I mentioned a couple of items that we encourage our practice members to use. One happens to be B complex. We have a whole food B complex. Usually you could take about 3 of these a day for up to 3 months. This will help individuals who may have sore muscles after exercise, also individuals who cry easy, people who are mosquitoes like them. Is a body signal for a need for B vitamins. Oftentimes, ladies may have low blood pressure. Once again, a need for B vitamins. Calmaxime. We use calcium for individuals because, you know, muscles need calcium. You may have leg cramps at night, but I'm going to give you a little secret right now that not too many people realize. When I used to jog, not used to jog, but when I jog, when I don't have enough calcium in my body, when I'd get to about 1.5 miles or 1.7 miles into my jog, if my skin started to itch, it was a body signal to me that I needed more calcium. So I pray that made a difference in one of your lives right now. We use calcium citrate or calcium lactate. If you're using those digestive calciums, tums, that is very difficult to digest. It has calcium carbonate. We do not promote that. So calcium lactate, calcium citrate. I want you to know back in the day, G was Gatorade. And if you look at the ingredients of Gatorade, and I know if you watch television in any way, shape, or form, they always are talking about G, and they have all these high-end celebrity athletes drinking this as a product. Well, I know that you are watching us. You're very wise. And once again, I'd encourage you to go to our website, which is druglessdoctors.com. It's DRS. And go to the blog link and print out the notes from today. But I'd like you to look at the ingredients that you'll find in Gatorade or in G. And I want you to know there's sugar in there. There are colors in there. You don't think they go to the middle of the ocean and prick up this magic blue color. Those are chemicals that they're using. And your body, your body has to process what's inside here. I would much rather have you get water from pure source. I mentioned to you earlier some Celtic sea salt. Put 1/4 teaspoon of Celtic sea salt in that pure water, and maybe you can get a liquid maltable vitamin. We use something called Aqueous Bio Multi Plus. Put a tablespoon of that in there, and you have created your own natural sports drink. I personally would be very cautious of putting any commercialized drink inside of your body. Kind of frightening, isn't it, when you think about it?
It really is. It is frightening, but one of the things on the less frightening side is exercise, what we've been talking about, and how to make it fun. So there's something that's called the fun theory, and what the fun theory states is when you make things fun, you're more likely to do them. So there was a Swedish study that turned a staircase into a piano that was next to an escalator, and they found that people that had fun walking down the stairs and making piano noises, there was 67% more people took the stairs than normal when they were able to make it fun. So one of the things that we've really encouraged our practice members and people that we come in contact with is different ways to make exercise fun for you. The very first thing that you want to do is start to smile. When smiling happens, it triggers off neurotransmitters in your brain that you're having fun and you're having a good experience. So by doing something like smiling, it's the starting point for yourself for how to make exercise fun.
You want to make sure that you are adding variety to your workouts. So you don't have to go to the gym and be on the treadmill for an hour. You can do things like dancing, Zumba, hula hooping, all kinds of different things to make it fun. And being in a group setting, and when you have that person that's going to be showing up at the gym at 6 o'clock and you know they're going to be there, that adds some consistency and commitment on your part that you better show up, or you know they're going to call you and get on you about getting to the gym with them. So whatever it is that you want to do, you want to make sure that you're having a lot of fun, and also that you're including people. It could be your family, your friends, maybe it's a group at work that you all decide that at 5 o'clock or whatever time you're all going to go to the gym and do an exercise class together. The most important thing is the consistency aspect, and we talked about rather than going to the gym for 2 hours one day and then feeling your body talking to yourself the rest of the week and not going, you want to make sure that you're starting small and doing things that you know that you're able to do. So not starting on things that maybe you would think that are too difficult, but starting slow with it.
You know, there's a couple little areas I'd like to just briefly talk about. If you happen to swim for your exercise, I would just want you to be aware that you may want to have a thyroid profile done, because oftentimes we find that the bromine, fluorine, or chlorine that's in the water could deplete your body of iodine. I also want to pass on to you that if you are walking and all of a sudden you notice that your legs are cramping, it might be time for you to make that wise choice to come into our office and have an x-ray taken, because it's possible you could have a spinal stenosis. And what we have found, if your head is in that forward position, we may want to work on pulling your body backwards. So we want exercise to be fun, but at the same time, we'd love for you to be perceptive and logical. And one of the exercises I just do on a regular basis, not so much for fun, but it makes a difference and I can multitask with it, is the bounce on the ball. Dr. Anthony said, proposed a question to you earlier. What can you be doing right now as you're watching us? You get a large ball and you bounce on that ball. And what that's going to do, it's going to help strengthen the muscles in your low back and your hips that could, in fact, help prevent you from having hip replacement. But at the same time, it's helping your lymphatic system move, so all the toxins in your body are going to end up going through your liver. So not only can exercise be fun, but it can also be therapeutic, and you could literally improve your longevity.
You know, when you're talking about spinal stenosis, also, we've seen this commonly take place with people that are doing some sort of exercise in our office. So they're coming to see us because they've been exercising and they experience discomfort. As chiropractors, we're working on bringing the spine back to the proper position so it takes stress and pressure off of our nervous system, so our body in turn heals itself like it's supposed to. So what takes place a lot of times when we're taking a look at x-rays, we're seeing how the body shifts one way or the other. It's the same principle that takes place that you would go and take your car to get aligned. You take your car to get aligned because if not, it's not driving properly, or the tires are going to wear down in uneven patterns. So that same principle takes place inside of our body. When our pelvis is off, when our mid-back's out, when our neck's out of the proper position, that's going to cause areas of asymmetry, and those asymmetries can cause things like ankle discomfort, knee discomfort, elbow, shoulder, all because of how it's displaced compared to the other side. So a lot of people will say, well, that's because my knees or my ankles are just old. Well, what if, you know, that's just the left knee that's old? Isn't it the same age as the right knee? So why doesn't the right knee have those challenges? So it really comes down to symmetry and proper mechanics. So when doing fun exercises, we'd encourage you to make sure that you're watching your mechanics. So one of the things that I want to encourage you guys to do as well is something that's called interval training. I'm not sure if any of you have ever heard of interval training. What it really is it's going something at a little bit more than a moderate pace for between 5 to 30 seconds and then resting for 30 seconds. This is really good for our heart, our lungs, our body, because we're getting our body a chance to react and adapt. This is much better doing an exercise like that for 10 minutes than to go to a gym and get on an elliptical or a treadmill and just do the same pace for an hour. So it's really important that we're varying our pace and that we're also varying the types of exercise that we're doing, because our body can really get used to those patterns. So the American Heart Association recommends that each individual do at least minimum of 30 minutes of exercise 5 times a week, which gets to that 150 mark that Dr. Bob was talking about. So if you're not doing that, start small, come up with different fun, easy ways for you to get back on track to have normal, proper exercise. So after this short break, we're going to go over some different exercises that you could do that you never thought that you'd be able to do and have fun while doing them.
Hello, this is Dr. Bob, Anthony, and Casey DeMaria. Welcome once again to our Half Hour of Health program, and we have been discussing exercise, and there's so many positive benefits of exercise, and one of them is that your brain creates feel-good hormones called endorphins. And many, many, many years ago, we were on the beach out in California, and one of our friends took us right to the place on the sand where he was living for 2 years in burnout, and one of his friends kind of looked down at him and kicked sand on him and said, "You gotta start moving," and that turned his life around. Having those endorphins is so critically important. Some of you may be saying, "But Dr. Bob, I'm so sore after I exercise." So bursitis and tendonitis and arthritis, they're the itis brothers. And what we have learned from our experience is that oftentimes they have a deficiency in calcium, magnesium, and potassium. So we use a product called BioCMP, which assists the tendons and the bursa in your body to have optimal nutrients so you don't have pain and inflammation. And BTW, that's by the way, if you have finger point pain right here on your shoulder, that's pretty much a body signal to us that you may have what we call deltoid bursitis. These are sponges, but I'd like you to think of these sponges as the lungs in your body. And one of the positive aspects of exercise is you're going to have improved posture, you're going to have better breathing, but if you have exercise asthma, get your hand out of the cookie jar, back off on the orange juice, make the wise decision to come into our office, because we see many, especially young female patients, practice members come in, give them the correct spinal adjustment, make appropriate dietary changes, and exercise asthma is managed without medication.
And what you want to do is you want to make motion a part of your life. So when you're at home and you're doing housework, think of other ways that you can get exercise. For example, doing the push mower versus the riding the lawnmower. Making sure that you're outside. You could be shoveling snow. You could be gardening. You want to make sure that we all have a choice to where we get to park our car. Sometimes it takes us longer to do those circles to find that perfect first spot, rather than parking farther away and walking. Also, rather than taking the escalator or the elevator, you could take the stairs. These easy things to get your body moving is really important for your daily life.
So what I want to share with you guys right now is the exercise you can do while you're sitting and watching us. So if you're on that sitting position, what I want you to do is spread your legs a little bit and go from a sit to a stand position. And you can do that right now while we're talking, and I want you to repeat. Sit to stand, sit to stand. I want you to do this 10 times. So you can continue to watch your TV programs, but start doing sit to stand exercises, and you'll find that your heart starts beating a little faster. You might start sweating a little bit. But this is an easy way just to do something simple as you're watching us. You can get a little bit more advanced. We could add exercise bands and start bringing them across like this as we're going from that sit to stand position. And before you know it, you're smiling and you're having fun while you're exercising. So it is that simple. You could have some old barbells in your garage that you could put out next to your couch, and you could do some arm curls while you're doing that. But it just takes a little bit of imagination to go a long way when it comes to how to make exercise fun. So one of my very favorite exercises is biking. So you got to find what your biking is for you when it comes to exercise, and find a few things. It's good to have a variety of different activities that you enjoy when it comes to exercising. Some of those simple ones could be something like kayaking, jumping rope. One of my favorite ones to do is to play frisbee golf, because you're getting different types of activities that aren't one-sided. You could do yoga, you could do Pilates, you could do a variety of different things that you had never even thought that you could do in order to make exercise fun, because when it comes down to it, if you're going to make it fun, you're more likely to do it. So exercise has so many wonderful benefits. There's so many different ways of doing it. You could even play a sport like soccer or racquetball, or have some friendly competition with people, do something like swimming. Whatever it is, you want to make sure it's something that you do on a regular basis and that you're having fun while you do those exercises, because we know that by doing exercise, you'll have all of those improvements that we talked about at the beginning of the show: increased energy, increased immune system,